Hey, I'm Sunez Paget, and I'm the multimedia manager for Saluda Hill TV and Saluda Hill Landscapes. And today, we're going to teach you how to go from this to this. Alright everyone, so at this point we're going to teach you guys how to do a DIY paver patio project for you and your family to experience and enjoy for years to come. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and cut out 7 inches of the earth to go ahead and get prepped for our paver patio to be set in place. If you see our guys digging out dirt right there, that's important because we want to remove any pre-existing things that might be underneath our patio. In this situation, we had pre-existing irrigation that we had to dig out, and we ended up rerouting it so there's nothing going up underneath our patio. After those 7 inches are out, we're going to go ahead and bring in 4 inches of crush run. This step is going to be the most important step because we want to go ahead and have a solid base for our pavers to sit on. This is going to make sure that we have longevity and there's no safety issues in the future. If you see that machine right there, it's called a plate tamp, and basically what that is going to do is it's going to compact all that crush and run down into the ground. If you see those orange lines, those are called string lines, and that's in place for elevation to make sure our guys are going to put in the pavers at a very level elevation. Make sure that everything is level and smooth and there aren't going to be any inconsistencies throughout the patio. Once our crush and run and string lines are in and everything's compacted into the ground, we're going to bring in 1 inch of sand. And if you see those poles right there, they're called screening poles. And basically while we put in that sand, we're going to put those poles about 4 to 6 feet apart depending on how big your area is. We're going to put a 2x4 on top of that to make sure we go ahead and scrape the sand to make sure that it's level and smooth so that we have a perfect base for our pavers to sit on. Finally, the time that we've been waiting for. Now we have the chance to go ahead and start laying our pavers. Throughout this process, you can go ahead and look into some inspirational ideas. We suggest Pinterest or Instagram, but the design that our clients picked out is sort of a cross pattern, but they only work for certain pavers that you may use. In this scenario, we were actually able to use a pre-existing concrete retaining wall. If you don't have something like that, then you want to use paver edging. With this, it's going to make sure that the pavers are locked in. You can use stakes to go ahead and nail that down into the ground to make sure that your pavers are going to stay in place and there won't be any moving in the future. Inevitably, in any case, you're going to have to make cuts. We, of course, want to recommend using a wet saw. There's concrete saws, but what you want to do is use a ruler and a pencil. Go ahead and mark out the places you need to cut. Cut them and make sure you use safety accessories. We, of course, want to use face mask and eye protection to go ahead and make sure we're not getting any of the fumes or dirt in our bodies. After you make those cuts, go ahead and enter them into your design. Now, once those cuts are made, we're going to bring in something called polymeric sand. This sand, you're going to go ahead and want to dump it right on top of the pavers. It's okay just to dump it right on top. And you're going to use a broom or brush to get all of the polymeric sand into the crevices and joints of the pavers. After we get done with that, we want to use a blower or something on a light setting that'll blow around that sand. Not too high because we don't want to move any pre-existing polymeric sand out of the current joints that they're in. But last but not least, we want to go ahead and use a water mist on top of the pavers to go ahead and activate the adhesion within that polymeric sand to lock in our pavers. Now, Once you have misted the top of the pavers and you have activated the adhesion within that polymeric sand, you are finally finished. It's time to go ahead and sit back, relax, get some family and friends over. In our scenario, we had the customers were able to put a grill on top of their paver patio, but go ahead and have some fun, enjoy it. We do want to, of course, suggest not putting any foot traffic or any sitting, any pedestrian traffic on top of it for at least 24 hours, longer if you can, but we understand the excitement. But it's finally time to enjoy this very hard and very rewarding project that you're able to do.